My name is Catherine. I'm just an average stay-at-home mom. Well, I guess that's enough for today. My husband and I both work. Since I work from home, facing the computer all day, doing the household chores after work, is honestly exhausting. Better get started on dinner soon. Lately, my workload has increased, and it's been busy. While I'm happy to have more work, it's already challenging enough to do chores after work, and having even more work is both physically and mentally draining. I've got more work piling up for tomorrow. At this rate, I might not be able to prepare dinner. What should I do? I'm home! Oh, welcome back. My husband is a regular office worker. He finishes work and is usually home by 6 p.m., so I need to have dinner ready by then. Dinner will be ready soon. What? It's not ready yet. I've been busy with work. Work? Oh, that thing you do on your computer. It can't be that hard. It is hard. I've been getting more work lately. Yeah, okay. Let's have dinner. My husband thinks my job is just to play with my computer at home and considers it a piece of cake. So he walks around the house with a big attitude, thinking he's the one providing for the family. He dumps all the household chores on me and does nothing when he gets home, just watching TV and laying around the house. Hey, could you lend a hand? I've been out working all day. I'm tired. You've just been at home. That's not true. I'm working and bringing in income, right? It's not even much, I bet. My husband seems to think that my earnings are just a drop in the bucket. He's old-fashioned in his thinking, believing that work should be done in an office, sweating bullets, and seems to look down on my home-based job. He once said that women should just handle things at home, but in reality, our household can't survive on his salary alone. We are only able to live thanks to my income, but since I handle all the payments, he seems to think that we can live on his salary alone. Moreover, he only contributes about $300 a month to the household, and the rest goes to gambling and alcohol. My husband is still childlike for his age, and it's quite troublesome. That sounds tough, but isn't it natural to see the unpleasant sides of your partner after marriage? It's beyond that level with mine. I occasionally vent my frustrations to my cousin Jack. It's hard to cope with the stress if I don't have someone to talk to. Jack and I have been close since we were little. I've always turned to him to vent whenever something bothers me. He listened to me when I was considering marrying my husband, but for some reason, Jack was strongly opposed to it. Now I understand very well why he was against it. My husband had never lived alone before our marriage. He lived with his parents, though he doesn't understand how much it costs to live. I see. Yes, that's why he thinks he can live on just about $300 a month, and that's all he contributes to the household. That's definitely a problem. I've told him many times that you can't live off of just $300, but he just won't believe me, accusing me of lying. Before I started working, I remember saying how tough life was. But he never listened, always blaming it on me spending too much, even when I said our income now should be enough. So out of necessity, I had to restart the part-time job I used to do when I was single. Now I've gotten more projects, and it's practically become my main job. Work is tough. Household chores are tough. I'm just so tired. Yeah, you do seem tired. Lately, it just feels like I can't get rid of this fatigue. You know, you might want to take it easy. Even after hearing that, if I don't handle both work and household chores, things at home get messy. After parting ways with Jack, I returned home and continued to work remotely. Today, there were a lot of projects, and it took quite a bit of time. Oh no, look at the time! What am I gonna do? I was so engrossed in work, I didn't notice at all. My husband will be home soon. I haven't prepared dinner, and I just don't have the energy to cook tonight. No choice then. Let's just order takeout today. Reluctantly, I ordered a pizza for dinner. I'm home! Welcome back! Where's dinner? Well, today was a bit hectic, and I didn't get a chance to prepare anything, so I ordered pizza. Please, have some. What? Saying that, he ate the pizza silently, looking somewhat discontented. It would be nice if you could manage household chores properly. I'm busy working every day. I'm busy with work too. And on top of that, I'm doing household chores. It's okay once in a while, isn't it? You're probably just laying around at home every day. You should be able to manage household chores properly. What? You're living off my income, laying around at home? You're like a parasite. What did you just say? I felt a surge of anger at his words. You called me a parasite? That's right. You're just laying around, not doing household chores as you should, living off my income. You are a parasite. Don't be ridiculous. There's no way we can live on your measly salary alone. The reason we're able to maintain our living is only because I'm working too. What are you talking about? $300 a month should be more than enough to live on. There is no way that's true. How out of touch with reality are you? You're the one that's out of touch with reality. I know people who live perfectly fine on the same salary. They live alone in their parents' house, don't they? This issue turned into a big argument. No matter how much I explain about our living expenses, he doesn't believe me. He accuses me of lying and doesn't even listen to what I'm saying. He called me a parasite. He's terrible. I never thought he was like that before we got married. Are you thinking about a divorce, maybe? I'm definitely considering it. I'm fed up with his ignorance of the real world. I told you, didn't I? You should have reconsidered marrying that man. I understand the meaning of those words now. It's natural to consider divorce from a man who called you a parasite, who doesn't appreciate your work, and who doesn't have a grasp of the money necessary for living. However, if he could change his mind by what I say, wouldn't this life also change? In that case, there would be no need to separate. It's the person I chose, so I'll try to talk to him a little more. Hang in there. I know. He never really listened to people's advice. Speaking of which, you were in the same school as my husband. From what I hear, he doesn't seem to have changed much from his student days. The next day, I talked to him about the necessary expenses incurred every month. It's not possible to live our current lifestyle with just $300. I wanted him to understand first how much it costs us each month, but he wouldn't listen. No matter how much I explained, he would say, "It's just because you're spending too much," blaming it on my lack of effort. I'm telling you, these are necessary expenses. This is the amount of cash flow just for our basic needs. There's no way. If we save, we should be able to live on about $300 a month. We're paying this much for rent every month and this much for utilities. There's no way. My buddy said he can live on $300 a month. He bought a condo outright, didn't he? We're in a rental. We have to pay rent every month. There's no way we can do with $300. No matter how much I explained, he wouldn't believe me. He's adamant that we can live on my salary alone. No matter how much I said, he wouldn't listen, so I stopped trying to convince him. And then came one day. Jack showed up at my house. He rarely came over to our place. "What's up? You came all of a sudden." "Well, I actually saw your husband downtown last night." "And what about it?" "He was walking with some young girl." "What?" While eating out, Jack seemed to have spotted my husband walking with an unfamiliar woman. They were close together, and it seemed they were quite familiar with each other. Jack suspected that my husband was cheating and decided to contact me. But he said he was having a drink with his colleagues last night. Oh, did he? I have some evidence, by the way. Jack showed me a photo of my husband and the unknown woman together. The two of them were arm in arm, looking friendly as they walked. He was cheating on me while I was struggling with work and household chores. Who's the one wasting money now? All that talk, just to be cheating on me. What are you going to do? Do you even have to ask? I started gathering evidence of the affair with Jack's help. I'm going to have a drink with some guys from work. My husband occasionally went out at night. He usually said he was going out for drinks with his colleagues. I bet he's going to see that woman. I followed him and caught him on camera meeting with his lover many times. 2 weeks passed. I gathered the evidence and confronted him. What's this all about? Ah, got busted, huh? You're gonna tough it out, huh? When I presented the evidence, he started talking defiantly. I've been thinking, I can't continue living with a leech like you. Huh? You're the worst. Yeah, I was thinking of getting a divorce, so this works out. Well, I don't want someone like you either. We ended up getting a divorce before I could interrogate him further. The next day, I got a divorce form from the city hall, filled it out the same day, and prepared to pack up and leave. I wanted to get away from that husband as soon as possible. Jack helped me find a new place to live. Jack works at a real estate company, so we were able to find a reasonable property right away. Here you go! With this, the divorce is finalized. Get out! Quick! I'd do it even without you telling me. Thanks for everything up until now. I moved my personal belongings to my new home and left my old house behind. I had no lingering attachment. Now, I have no one berating me. No more worrying about family matters, and no more doing chores for two. Quite the opposite. Things only got better. Have you gotten divorced already? I feel liberated. Well, that's good. Don't push yourself too hard from now on. No more stress. And I plan on focusing on my work. I think I'm good on marriage for a while. How's the new house? It's beautiful, with lots of sunlight. Absolutely perfect. Rent might be a bit higher, though. Is that okay? It's cheaper than my old place, and I'm living alone now, so my expenses have actually gone down. Well, that's a relief. How much do you make a month, by the way? About $3,000. Wow, you can really make a living working from home. I've been steadily doing it for a while. Now I was getting more assignments and had a steady income. But why didn't you say anything about it? Maybe his attitude would have changed a little. I knew he wouldn't believe me. I thought it was pointless to say anything. He probably wouldn't. You're right. Then I started focusing more on my work. Being able to work without any interference brought me a lot of mental relief, and my work was going well. My income increased, and I could afford to buy what I wanted. Now I often wonder, why didn't I divorce earlier? I got a phone call. Who could it be? It was my ex-husband, whom I had divorced a month ago. Hello, Catherine. Why does it cost so much to live? How did you manage to pay everything? Excuse me? He was talking about the cost of living at the house he used to pay for. It's too expensive. How did you manage it? He asked in a somewhat frantic manner. I've explained it before, right? All the living expenses just for basic bills, every month. That must be because you were wasting money. Just tell me how you managed. I can't live like this. I wasn't particularly managing anything. I was working and earning my own income. That's how we were able to live. You couldn't have been making much. You didn't even work for a while after we got married. I was living off the savings from my single days at that time. Upon hearing this, my ex-husband fell silent. I saw this coming. Without me, he probably couldn't make ends meet with his salary alone. I knew this, but deliberately chose not to tell him. I've told you several times, but you never believed me. Then how come my friends are able to live? That's strange. Why don't you ask your friends? What should I do? I can't even afford to eat tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. We're strangers now that we've broken up, and I am a parasite, so I don't know how to save you. Please, can we get back together? Why don't you have your mistress take care of you? I got dumped. Please, I won't call you a parasite anymore. You signed the divorce papers, remember? And don't forget about the alimony. It's your infidelity that led to our divorce. There's no way I can pay all that. This isn't a request. It's a demand. Please, I beg you, give me a break. Well then, sort it out yourself. You're a grown man, after all. Wait! I hung up the phone and deleted his number. I didn't want to be contacted anymore. My ex-husband, it seemed, had been unable to pay for things like the house rent and utility bills, and was kicked out of his apartment. It seems that he tried to live alone again and went to the real estate company where Jack worked. But apparently, he didn't even know the average rent and seems to have given up after learning about it. It seems that afterwards, he was living at his parents' house, but he had a quarrel with them and had to leave, starting to live alone reluctantly. He had always been sloppy with money, and he quickly fell behind on his rent and was kicked out of his apartment too. Apparently, he lost his address, caused problems at work, and got fired, and now he's unemployed. The other day, I saw your ex-husband. Really? Where? He was lined up at a soup kitchen for the homeless. It can't be helped. He just doesn't know how the real world works. Even so, who would have thought that he would be dumped by his mistress right after they broke up? Wasn't the mistress just a fling to begin with? That might be true. I mean, there's no way there would be a woman who would fall for a guy like that. After the divorce, I started hanging out with Jack more often. We used to dine together a lot when we were single, but the frequency decreased when I got married. I never thought I'd be single again, but it's fun to eat dinner together like this, and badmouth my ex-husband.